Okay everyone, just showing you a little bit of kind of what I'm doing while I'm doing it. I want to build a tyre rack to go on the back of this, a swing out one. So the tyre will sit up there and it will swing out. I've made this one previously, which the tyre mounts on there and it pops around, but I want to try something a little bit different for this build. So I go online, have a look around in some pictures, and you'll find some manufacturer websites are really helpful with detail, photos of what you've got, maybe measurements if you're lucky, and also videos. So I've been watching this video, having a look at this, and I've got a kind of a pattern to work from, and an approximate sort of size looking at that tyre and kind of where it is. So based on all that, what I'm going to do is cut out a cardboard template first. Just had to get a sharper blade, so I was a bit hard on my knife yesterday. It's quite thick cardboard. Okay, so that's got my, what I'm going to do is cut the shape out of cardboard and then cut it out of styrene plastic. I may end up transferring the shape to something for my cricket cutter to cut, but this one's just experimental, just to try it out. So I've got my shape. Tyre's going to sit sort of up about that high, so a little bit at the bottom there. Needs to go over probably, where do I want this to sit? It's going to sit about there, so if that was the edge, no, it's probably going to sit maybe a little further over actually, about there. Okay, I'm going to go with that. So this is quite fun, this stuff, just most of the time, just figuring out how I'm going to build this. Now the shape is kind of square, so I'm going to go about there. Just draw a line down. And go about that high. So this bit's really just figuring out roughly where I think things are going to be. Some manufacturers, like when I built my 1/18 scale trailers, if you haven't seen those, I don't think I've done a video on them because I sort of started doing them after a long time before I started the videos. Actually, that's going to go out. So I found a lot of go. So if I pop that back up and bring up the photo, it's roughly okay. Their one's probably a little wider and a little shorter, but I think I can live with that. Although that is probably bigger than I need it to be. I'm having a look. Alright, so I'm going to tidy up the shape of that a bit, and then I'll get back. Alright, so it's quite a bit of fiddling to do to get it back down to this size. So it's quite a bit smaller than it was before, but it sort of fits in more realistically So it's going to kind of sit like that. So now I need to take my cardboard shape and transfer it to a piece of plastic. In this case it's just 1mm styrene. Now I know people quite often ask, where do you get styrene from? So two companies, Plastruct and Evergreen, make it sort of in hobby size, but I actually buy it in big sheets from a local plastic manufacturer. So I can get a sheet that's sort of 1.3 meters by 0.8 or 800 by 1300 centimeters, and then I can chop it up from there, and it's a lot cheaper. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this out, and then we'll get on to the next bit. Okay, so in most cases you can just score it and then snap it. Be a little bit careful where you've got joins, but as you can see, okay. So in the pictures showed it having holes in it, and there's so they've got holes drilled in it, and then you put a piece on, and then the tyre mount fits onto that. So I'm going to go and figure out how I'm going to do that bit, and then when I do, I'll get back to you. Okay, so the tyre carrier part, oops, looks like that. So basically you've got a circle, a square, and two kind of angle pieces. I found a circle because I've cut one of these out from a camper project I'm working on. So it just seems to be just about the right size, and it has I drilled a hole in the middle. Going to glue the angle on there. This other angle gets mounted onto the carrier mount, and then the two bits kind of sit on top of each other. So I'm going to go and build all that and then bring you back in. Okay, so I got a little bit more done than I had thought. It's really quite hot out here in the garage, so I'm going to have to go and cool off in a bit. So I've got the shape. I got my circle and put a piece of angle styrene on the back. So that's the bit that the wheel connects to. So the wheel holder. Then you got this bit, which is a square piece of styrene with an angle on, and the tyre carrier bit sort of fits on like that. I could glue it on, but I sort of decided that having some bolts in it would be cool. I need to use some smaller ones though, because these are a bit big, but I'll just show you what it's like. There we go. It's quite fiddly doing this, so that should bolt in there. And then the whole tyre mount bolts to this piece. In the real one, part of the reason for sort of mounting it this way is that the tyre rack can actually mount other things. So if you want to mount ski or bike racks or jerry cans or something, you can mount all that kind of stuff on. So it's sort of a multi-purpose one. It's not quite lined up, but you get the idea. That bolts onto there, So you got your tyre carrier like that, and then I'm going to put a 3mm bolt through a hole on the back, and you've got your tyre mount. I need to just sort of figure out where I'm going to have it, and that will swing away. So just to show you, so there's the tyre mount. That's the bit I was working on, and in some of the pictures, so there you go. I think that looks reasonably close. Pretty happy with that. Cool. Okay, so she's pretty much done. I'm going to call this one a prototype because there's a couple of little bits I want to adjust on it, but as you can see, if I just come around here, so yep, sits on like that, and that bolt just tightens up. So what I need to do is to work on just getting it to sit a little bit closer to the back of the truck. So I need to move the pivot point in a bit, and I could probably make there's just a few little bits I could do to make it thinner, so it will sit a bit closer, but I think that's pretty good for a first attempt, and I'll do the rest on my Cricut cutter because I've got the basic shapes now. So there we go, and that's going to look pretty cool.